A privilege to get to bring this tier 3 matchup here for you. Again, we do have Ignition Blaze going up against Astrantia here in the tier 3 scene. Ignition 4-0 coming in. Astrantia 3-1. We'll see if they can follow me and Billy's predictions and get the upset here. You know, of course, we do love our map 5s. We'd love to see that. We are going to start off on Busan. Will be our control map here in week 5. Billy, what are your thoughts on Busan going into Korea?
Before we go there, a lot of people have reached out, and I lost my cousin a couple days ago.
Okay.
I really want to thank everybody for the love that you guys have shown me. It's been super powerful coming from you guys, and that's the community that I love to see, and I love you guys. I just want you guys all to know that that it means a lot to me and my family at this time. So that being said, sappy part over. I'm gonna go ahead and donate, or what's the word I'm looking for? Honor Christopher with this cast tonight. So yeah, getting into Busan, I am looking at what the tanks are going to do when they come out. Are they going to run a dive comp? Are we going to see the double shield as we've seen so very much? What kind of healers are going to come out there? Because you don't have Briggs, so the brawl ability really is gone from these comps. Because I mean, you've got Ryan, you've got Brigitte gone. You don't have the same sight lines for the McCree and the Widow also. So
True.
Do we see Junkrat? Do we see Reaper? Do we see the May Reaper? We've seen a lot of the May Reaper with brilliant plays coming out from all sides. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see the tank and DPS lineups. And then once again, are we going to see Ana Moira? Are we going to see the Mercy Moira? There we go.
If the last match is any indication, this could be absolutely all over the place. We saw a lot of Soldier Ash earlier in the series just before this. Definitely saw some Junkrat, a little peppering of some Tracer, some Echo. I mean, we saw every support available aside from Zenyatta. So this could be an absolute smorgasbord of characters and compositions as we head into map 1, kick off this match.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is where the rubber meets the road. These are two top level teams here in the tier 3 division, and this is for dominance. Will Ignition get their first L of the season? I think they do, just because Dark Matter is not there right now, and I think that there's a little bit of a shift going on with their DPS right now. They don't have that hard carry that we have seen that Dark Matter provided to them. However, you never count out Ignition. You never count out this Ignition org, because they always come ready to brawl it out. As we see, we are on Mecha base. So I think we're going to see the May Reaper here.
We just might. It does look like Ignition coming out of the gate with some Orisa, Sigma, May Ash. Moira and Baptiste keep the team alive and standing. And then on the other side, Astrantia coming out with the Orisa Wrecking Ball. With the Torbjorn in the damage department. Oh, what do you make of this, Billy?
I am that's a shocking comp, but I like it. I mean, the turret's weird. So much. It's going to put so much damage in, and that Molten Core, once they get it online, depending on how fast he gets it online and how much value he gets from it, I think that's the big question mark right now.
I think we're going to have to keep a sharp eye on Gato-san as he is on the ball, and how will he choose to utilize his character? He's going to start off by pushing two members of Ignition down to the low ground, see if they can make for some easy pickings for the rest of the team. They're not quite able to capitalize, and the rest of Ignition will follow suit and just take up position, bunker down here on the objective. Gato-san trying to roll back through, see if he can get a little bit of an environmental kill. No such luck just yet. Now he's coming back in over the top, but again, I'm looking for something to couple with this. Maywall coming out, and now the pressure coming in from Ignition. They're going to find first blood, take the Ana out of the back line, and slowly just pressure down the members of Astrantia here as they have claimed full possession of the point. Still just the one kill coming through at this point, and an early Coalescence coming out to try to assert the dominance here on the side of Ignition. Wrecking Ball trying to go around to the top, trying to get out of the LOS for that. We do have a countering Coalescence coming in from the other side. And this has been a heck of a brawl already, about 45 seconds in, and only one kill to speak of. Oh, I spoke too soon. Gato-san getting work done, coming out with some early mines. Tac Visor thrown into the mix as well. And Astrantia with a great counter strike to eliminate Ignition and get this point under control.
You know, Venom popped Tac Visor there, but the damage was being done by Gato-san on this Wrecking Ball hero. He is in their backline, and he is harassing them so much. They're not sure which way to look right now.
Right now they're just gonna look to hold the door. We do have Bob online as Ignition's looking to come back, and Fnatic gonna go down early. Amplification Matrix coming out from Ignition as well. Stiggy able to utilize that, picks up 2 good kills, and that should just make for an easy flip here after a little bit of cleanup for Ignition.
Yeah, I mean, Gato-san can actually contest here for a little while and spin to win. As we heard in the last match, I mean, he's got basically nobody on him. There's a halting coming in from Sticky, halting the ball, but I mean, they flipped it. It's gone back the other way now. I think that was a really good investment of time there. I think that they have the ultimates to recontest real quick.
Juicy Nana getting the nano boost, trying to make something happen. Supercharger still in the pocket, but yet another set of mines coming out as well from his counterpart as Gato-san still just doing so much work on that objective. Gets a nice boot kill going off, follows up with a nice kill on the Stiggy as well. Gato-san on the hamster, making things happen, making tons of space, and it's going to be Astrantia flipping this thing right back over.
Yeah, and they only really got basically 25% extra capture percentage on this point, so they did invest quite a few ults there. Even though they did get the Blizzard out from Ignition there, they put in mines, they put in the Supercharger, and they also put in the Molten Core, so I think they may have expended too much there.
Yeah, we're going to have the Flux as well as Bob online here for Ignition as they're looking to push back in. Bearman coming up on his 3rd coalescence of the match. Expect that to come out shortly as well. Bomb thrown onto the objective, and the Gravitic Flux thrown in. Flux finds 2. Fortify used to get out of that. The Ana, not so lucky. Ana's going to get sent back to spawn. Trades coming through. 5v5 here on the point. Aretha frozen up, but reinforcements coming in, and Juicy Nana able to stay on those 4 feet. And the Wrecking Ball coming in, providing so much distraction. Yet another set of mines. 3rd minefield coming out from Gato-san. Yet another environmental kill, and it's going to allow Astrantia to get the flip right back over. 65-92 on the board.
Yep, and they got a ton of ultimate gain in that brawl that just happened. Gato-san not only getting somebody with the mines, he also gets it with the grapple, knocking the Baptiste off, and he had nowhere to run.
That was a heck of a fight win because they were definitely down in the ult economy, and nevertheless, Astrantia able to pull through on that team fight. Now we're approaching final fight here. 87-92 on the clock. Whoever wins this fight will take Mecha Base. Ignition pushing in slow. They do have that all-important Blizzard online. Big Molten Core coming in, combined with the Wrecking Ball. Somehow Ignition able to scramble off of it. Here comes the Blizzard in response. Coalescence thrown into the mix as well. Juicy Nana frozen up, elevated, put on a pedestal for Ignition to pop down. And the Wrecking Ball coming back in, trying to counterpunch back. Coalescence thrown in from Astrantia as well as they do this wonderful kite and counterpunch. Now, Ignition did get the point flipped over, but it's going to be short-lived as Astrantia will get this thing and will take Mecha Base here, barring a miracle coming out of Ignition.
Man, let me tell you what, Clover Hero threw in a massive donger of an anti-nade into the mix of that. Melt.
Score 0-1. Ready for battle.
There's nothing I haven't seen before. Stick together. We will complete our mission.
You were a disgrace to Overwatch. If I had known what Reyes had been planning, I would never have allowed it.
It seems to me that it was convenient for you not to look too closely into Gabriel's business.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Capture the objective. Good to be back.
That's right, that quick difficulty with the casters. We're trying to get him back in. The disco call seems to be having an issue, but for the time being, it's coming back in here. Astrantia trying to take the point. You have the advantage from winning Mecha Base, trying to find an opportunity on the way in. Fnatic able to take down Tokyo early, so with a little bit of difficulty here, but getting the kills they need as Astrantia decisively take this first capture point. Falling by the wayside are Ignition, and Blaze now having to retreat. A very good start here for Astrantia coming in. They've got the Echo now. Venom switching over there. Already 72% to that transformation, so it should be huge for them here, looking to continue contesting, or rather defending this point. Gato-san 82% to a minefield as well, so definitely set up to defend this. Should it start, should the attack start coming back in from the middle. They're going to slow play this a little bit. They've got the Coalescence from Bearman on the deck. Dead Love's about half. T shot about half as well, so look at the good. Coalescence on point. Might they use this to push? As the targets start to come in, Coalescence from Bearman trying to keep those tanks up. They've got Gato-san in behind though, trying to flank them to get the one knockdown on the Fanatics teleport, but now the Coalescence largely defensive. Coalescence the inside coming out is able to take down Tokyo, I think. Looks like he slipped the ball on the point here. 40% taken perhaps for Blaze, but they still got a lot to do here. And still a lot to play for. They heard the Supercharger coming down. Both Superchargers, Venom switches into the Arista. They've got making adjustment here to hold it on. Another 25% though, leaning down here in Astrantia. It looks like they will be able to take this, and Blaze goes back to the deck. Bring in Bullskunk again. Build him back. Let's get a video.
Thank you, Solden.
Okay, thank you. We were casting our hearts out there.
Yeah, that was some of the best casting of my life.
I know.
All right, now we have Astrantia in full control. 70% on the board. Blizzard, both tank ults as well as a Bob online here for Ignition as they're looking to push back and see if they can answer back. They're going to use the Coalescence Blizzard early on. Blizzard finds two Coalescence, burning them down, and we're finally seeing some signs of life out of Ignition here on downtown.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a great combo of ults. Blizzard Coalescence is always a juicy proposition for an attacking team, and they used it to perfection now, but do have both of those out of the way. And Tokyo on this Baptiste player is really getting a lot of value with his immortality barriers because they are just pumping the damage in, and he is keeping his team absolutely topped off and ready to go. Gato, though, on the other hand, has other ideas as he is spinning to win and just playing pinball with the members of Ignition right now.
Yeah, this is Gato-san downtown. It's up to Ignition to dislodge that hamster as he drops his second set of mines onto the objective. This one far more successful. No more immortality field this time. But back on the front line, Deadlove's picking up a kill. Stiggy finds one as well, I believe, in that endeavor. And Ignition Blaze will hold on. 50 to 80 on the board.
Yep, and Gato-san thinking that Valor, the better part of Honor, they're getting off and getting back with his team.
Yeah, just a quick reset.
Just a quick reset. Now, the all-important duplication, getting ready to be online for Venom. I don't know what he will decide to change into this time. Does he go with the Ash? Does he go with the Nay and get a very, very fast Blizzard?
Coalescence coming out on the side of Ignition here as they look to hold off this next ingress.
He picks Ash.
The Ash, and taking the high ground. Doesn't last long. Dead Love's coming up with a headshot, forcing her back into her normal state. And now, here comes the Ant Matrix, but they're already two down. Will this be enough to pull Ignition back into the fight? Immortality field used and combined with Supercharger, so much extra damage here for Ignition. Can they find the kills? Two coming up in that, but Stinky goes down, Dead Loves goes down at the end of this messy fight. It is going to be Astrantia merging with the objective.
Yeah, but I mean, 97% for Ignition there. This is a very even fight. This is last fight territory, and the ultimates are in the favor of Astrantia right now, but you do have Shadows, Blizzard online, ready to go. He's going to have to throw it here very quickly and see how many he can pick out with it.
Keeping a sharp eye with Gato-san on these mines. It's going to be Molten Core with Supercharger used to start the fight here on the side of Astrantia. Blizzard thrown in on the other side. Two members of Ignition already down. The Blizzard not enough to swing it back. Fnatic showing up, lighting the dwarf up in the kill feed. Big 4K for him. And it is going to be Astrantia taking map one here and a 1-0 lead in the series.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy work from the DPS duo of Astrantia with Venom on the Echo and Rebel Fnatic on.
Oh, good. I was hoping we get to see this again. Great play. This is going to be the final fight here. Opens with the Molten Core, that follows it up with just some wonderful shooting. Takes out both tanks. Great play coming out of the Torbjorn.
Yep, the turret did work. He did work. The Molten Core did work, and they were sent back packing in a hurry. So,
Impeccable.
Skunk, my dear friend, what do you think about the first map? Because kind of went the way that we thought it was going to go.
I think Astrantia is looking really strong and really comfortable in this. hero pool sans Reinhardt. They don't seem to be phased by this at all. Looks like they have a plan, and right now they're all firing on the same page. They're executing together. Astrantia looking really strong out of the gate.
Yeah, absolutely. And got we've got I think that what Corbeck said held so much truth to it. I think that this hero pool is handicapping Ignition so hard right now.
Yeah.
But they didn't have an answer for the Torbjorn. That was one. And I think that also,
But it's such a creative comp. Like, how do you plan for that? How do you scrim for that? Like, that was a nutty composition. The Torb Echo in particular, I thought was especially clever. And despite that, you wouldn't think it would work on paper. Risa and Wrecking Ball have two very different styles, two very different objectives they're trying to accomplish in that tank role. Nevertheless, it all came together there. And it ends up with a 2-0 victory there on Busan. Quite convincing. Yeah, there was definitely some back and forth.
There was some back and forth, but I mean, it was definitely Astrantia's map. I wouldn't even care to hypothesize what they were going to do on Sanctuary, because right now Gato is being a beast.
Dude, it was Gato's map to win. Frankly, I mean, that was his point. Everybody else was just leasing it out. I think for the meantime, it was a little bit of a bed and breakfast for the rest, but he owned that place. He owned both Mecha Base and downtown.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was his map to win, and yeah, he absolutely did that. So I do have a couple subs coming in. I've got Sins coming, God of Sins, my coach in Neptune. He is my tier 1 coach, and he is in the match. So GG's to you. Hope you play well, sir. And we also have
God of Sins coming in the support role there for Ignition, correct?
Yep.
And what was that second sub?
We have Rabbits coming in for Clover in the support role as well.
Very nice, very nice. We'll see if that can be the difference maker here for Ignition to try to bounce back into this thing. I mean, Bearman with a great showing on the Baptiste. No surprise that they're keeping him in this match. I think that was one of the shining points for me during those 2 rounds was that Baptiste.
Yeah, I mean, he got really good value with the Immortality Bears. I mean, he threw his window out, basically. It was almost on a cooldown there in the last fight. But, I mean, he did the best he could, and he kept his team up a lot longer than I would have expected. So, that being said, I'm looking for the ready up from our captains real quick as I am getting these swaps completed. And I've got to swap my map, too, yeah.
So we will be heading to King's Row here for our hybrid map this evening. Scrim's Row, as it's also known, everybody's favorite map. I mean, really a benchmark map. And coming into King's Row during a week where we have no Reinhardt is such an interesting proposition. The map was absolutely tailored for Reinhardt. I mean, the corridors, the streets phase in particular, just about as wide as his shield. I mean, purely designed around that character. So how teams choose to adapt here in week 5, that's going to be something I'm going to be looking out for. Are we going to see more of that Orisa Wrecking Ball?
I haven't seen a Symmetra yet.
True.
I haven't seen a Symmetra in our matches. We haven't. So yeah, I really want to see. I want to see some innovation here, dealing with this comp. Because I mean, you could throw a Sim Bastion in. You could throw, Junkrat. That's a big thing, is that they're not really focusing on breaking the shields. They're like kind of charging through the shields and getting into their back, like almost playing like a Ryan Zarya, but instead it's an Orisa Sigma, but they're still playing like it. And they're being, I haven't seen Lucio. That's the other one I haven't seen very much of this week, despite him being available to the teams.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Ignition with their bunker, I'm not sure if the Lucio would get as much value, but in King's Row, I mean, it's a whole different story. We're going to have to close that gap, or you're going to have to kite away from the massive amount of aggression coming in from Astrantia. How do you answer this Wrecking Ball? I mean, can you bring a Mei or perhaps even a Sombra? What do you think would be a good counter to this Orisa Wrecking Ball tank line?
Yeah, I mean, it was, there was no answer for them, and they had a Mei. That's the thing. They had a Mei, and he got away from her freeze every single time. So I don't think.
So true.
I don't think that they had the ability to stop him. That was the thing. They never had the ability, even with the heroes that they had. I think that's by bringing out, doing Mei Reaper, or I mean, bringing a Reaper into the mix. I think bringing a Junkrat with the trap into the mix. That would be two of my ideas right there.
Well, as we're getting into King's Row, we will have Ignition Blaze starting us off on the defense. Doesn't look like they're making much change here, Billy.
No, and I mean, Dead Loves You was getting a lot of value on the Ashe, though. I mean, the bombs were good, the dynamite was good. I mean, the positioning was good, and I think the sightlines here, kind of favor more of a hit scan-y person. It's not, considered a hit scan, but she's still a hit scan, so... anyway, she does a very nice job of getting those headshots in when she needs to. But I mean, I think that they've got to. I think that they need to do something to counter the ball if it does happen again.
Venom bringing out the Echo, the new character here, in combination with an Ashe of their own. Orisa Sigma this time coming out of Astrantia here as they're going on the attack, just kind of poking and prodding around Statue, looking for that opening. Venom putting some damage in from above, but doesn't quite have the corral ability like a Pharah has. Nevertheless, Ignition are going to kind of fall back behind Hotel, kite back a little bit, and Venom continues to put pressure on, but Deadloves drawing first blood, finds that kill, clips the wings. Fnatic answering right back though. No more main tank standing on the other side. Rez comes through. Favor swapping here to Astrantia as they're looking to put more pressure on the point. Defensive Mei wall coming up, trying to allow a retreat here for Ignition as they're looking to pull back. Coalescence sort of the mix as well, but a great gravitic flux. Ganosan slamming down Super, and he is sent back to spawn, reeling from that excellent ultimate. Deadlove's trying to counter right back here though, finds 2 kills with the dynamite, and you just have 2 tanks and a Mercy left on point. You still have the Mei here for the defense, trying to freeze down that Mercy. Ant Matrix coming out here in this unusual 3v3 here on the point A objective. Immortality field thrown in as well.
Yeah, Juicy Nana, they're kiting back a little bit with the pressure from the Mei wall coming in. And this is going one way right now. I mean, the stall was good, but I think the stall is over. And yeah, you see that. Yep, it's done.
The Nano Boost thrown on to Gatosan there. Juicy invested supercharger, and we had Coalescence coming out from the offense as well. Venom swapping over. It was a Coalescence from a clone there, from a duplicate. That really tilted that. What a great play coming out of Venom on the Echo.
Yeah, I didn't even see it because I was so invested in the fight on the point that I didn't see him push forward. Now, Streets Phase, you and I always argue whether or not you should push up far or you should push up kind of far. I think that you need to get the aggression in there on this double shield right now, or you're going to lose a positional advantage here in the corner. Big pull coming from Juicy Nana.
Mei wall thrown in to deny the retreat, and here comes the Blizzard. This could be big. They've got 2, including the Orisa, including the Mercy. All of them drop. The Ana goes down as well, and a great hold coming through from Ignition here to start things off on point B.
Yeah, and Venom just got out with his life there, barely, because he had an accretion disc coming his way. However, so ultimate usage right now, I think that they may have overinvested on the first point, and they could have really benefited them here in the Streets phase, because now we're looking at a stalwart defense from Ignition here. I think they got a fire lit under their butts, and they're ready to absolutely dread here.
They're blazing, are they? All right. With that said, some fantastic ult discipline coming out of Ignition as well during that engagement. It allows them to have 3 here online for this fight, but it is going to be Bob coming out on the side of Astrantia to start things off. We're going to get a clone coming from Venom, who chooses the Sigma, not able to quite build up to that flux. Now we're going to get an Ant Matrix coming out from the other side. Supercharger thrown into the mix as well, but despite all the extra damage, despite the Coalescence for Ignition, it is Astrantia finding the goods, picking up 2 kills early. Here comes the Mercy Valve combined with the Gravitic Flux, a little extra damage boost thrown onto that flux. They are going to pick up a kill on that, and the reinforcements dwindling here on the side of Ignition, and it does look like Astrantia is going to push this thing all the way in, though we might get a stall here at the back of point B.
Yeah, I think they have the time, and Baptiste is coming up very close on to the end of point B here. I think that if he doesn't play his cards right, he's going to get caught out because he doesn't have any kind of shielding. He does have that regenerative burst there that will top him up, but I think you need to stay out in the better part of Valor. But there's a recontest here, right, with 2 meters to go. They got 3 members in.
Yeah, Deadlove dropping in at the last possible second there, it seemed. And then the rest of Tryhard's able to come join, the rest of Ignition, excuse me, able to come join in there. As the Coalescence coming out on the side of the offense. Bob thrown in as well. Venom super close to that duplicate, but so far pretty even here on the objective. Rez comes through, and now tilting the balance. Here comes Juicy Nana and Fnatic finding 2 kills each. And despite the blizzard coming out from the other side, Venom had cloned into a May of his own, and that allowed 2 points to get picked up here for Astrantia.
Yeah, I mean, that's great discipline, great healing coming from the side of Astrantia there, because they had to weather that blizzard and that last minute. I don't think they expected that last minute recontest. So good work for the healing core of Astrantia, keeping their teeth up and ready to go.
We're getting some swaps out of the defense as Deadlove's going over to the Torbjorn there. Coming off of the Mayhem Matrix coming out on the side of the defense. They did get an early pick. Riz coming through, but Shadow not done. Takes the Echo out of the sky, giving the defense the edge here, and they're going to take advantage of that, pushing forward with the aggression. See if they can pick up some more exit kills here. As Astrantia just doing a nice little reset, and they're able to escape with most of their lives.
Yeah, and Fnatic just went from 82% ult charge to 99% with that accretion disc and pull from his tanks. That is an absolute banger of a halt rock combo.
Venom going over to the Genji. The rest of the members of Astrantia with ultimates online are coming online shortly, as it's going to be Extravaganza here. Supercharger coming out with Coalescence on the side of the offense. Supercharger, in fact, on both teams. Tons of extra damage on the board, and it is Astrantia who are able to find the kills. Venom catching him off guard. The Cyber Ninja picking up 2 kills in that. Juicy Nana coming up with a pair of his own. Possibly her. Either way, that's going to enable Astrantia to get 3 points on the board. There was no contest. Billy, where was the contest?
I don't know. I mean, Super Haddock was coming out, and I thought he had Gravitic Flux in his hands. That would have taken him off. That would have gotten him off the point there. I don't know. That's a head scratcher, and Sticky taking a second too long to get out onto the point. I think he missed a grapple. Coming around the corner, get out there faster. Oh my goodness, that is heartbreaking for Oblivion or Ignition there. Gosh, we're giving other teams names here tonight.
Oh yeah, you know, just so much review of it. I've been watching so many VODs, and that's getting my wires crossed. I guess we both are here a little bit. But, yeah. I mean, in the end, it is a clear sailing point C there. And Astrantia happy with that, catching a bit of a break as they have a minute 59 left in their time bank.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really solid time for King's Row here, especially with this meta that we're in right now. But, I mean, you got to look at Dead Loves You on that Ashe. And then Shadow swapping over to the Ashe when they made their swaps was absolutely clicking heads. Deadly on the young Southern Belle, and she was just having a very good time up there on the high ground. So, I mean, I like what I'm seeing. I love the rotations. I love the swaps as they come in, because, I mean, I was really expecting that to go to overtime, and just a little bit of miscommunication and how urgently they needed to get out there.
Yeah, well, Astrantia going on the defense here, bringing out the Orisa Sigma, double shield once again. Fnatic on the Torb. Nothing unexpected here. Ignition taking space behind Statue, just slowly trying to close the gap. They have Astrantia hiding behind Hotel. We'll see if someone's going to choose to flank. It's going to be the defense going in for the flank, but their Orisa goes down. Main tank gone. Primary source of shielding back in spawn, and this should make life a lot easier for the attacking team as they're trying to push in. Venom moving up to the high ground, see if they can find some kind of angle on this team. But so far, this has been all Ignition on the attack. Coalescence thrown in late just to make sure they can clean up, as Gato-san is trying to flank around, see if they can separate the focus of Ignition here on the attack. But it is not having the desired effect, and that is going to be point A picked up. They're going to get this payload moving.
Yeah, and let me tell you right now, God of Sins on the Mercy right now, damage boosting between the Ashe and the Junkrat is absolutely killing Astrantia right now. Massive plays coming out from this Mercy player for Ignition. There's 3! Shadow is absolutely clicking heads, Bullskunk.
I don't know if Fnatic saw something shiny on the ground there, but it ended up just standing still for a minute. Shadow able to take advantage, finding his 3rd headshot and as many kills there. And now Yeah, Ignition moving on up. Yeah, Fnatic going over to the Junkrat here. He's just sacrificing himself for the reset. A little more shield break coming out as he does switch over to the Rat, like I mentioned. Venom with that Bob online. We've also got Flux as well as Coalescence here for the defense. Bob online for the attacking team as well. Both support ults here. This is going to be a good fight. We're going to start off with dueling Coalescence here. Love's coming up on that tire. Bob throwing into the mix. The attacking team's going to find first blood here on the back corner of point B. Bob finds 2, the 7th man. Coming up big here for Ignition on the attack. Oh, man. Shadow on this Ashe. Just a one-man army. And that's going to enable the second point on the board here for Ignition Blaze. Wow, what a performance.
Shadow just said, get the off my point. It is mine. And he's going forward again. He's like, I'm just push forward. There's no answer to the Ashe right now.
Yeah, the Orisa doing a good job of super putting that shield up, trying to protect Shadow in his aggressive posturing. As they're going to look to hold this first corner. 5:23 left in the time bank, and they still have that tire as well as the supercharger in their pockets.
Oh, man, this is at the Y-Mash here in a few seconds. But, I mean, you've got dueling superchargers going out right now.
Oh, Fnatic answering right back, proving that Shadow's not the only good Ashe on the field. Venom finds a kill as well, and a great start here for the defense. Supercharger used, and to great effect as they are going to chase the members of Ignition right back into the spawn.
Yeah, and they've got a stagger potential right now on this Mercy. If she cannot, oh, she does get a bit. She is able to kite out, so no stagger kill for you, Venom, but he's already 90% to his first dragon, so this could be an extended fight here. They're probably just gonna have to wait for cooldowns, and they're gonna have to wait combo with these ultimates that are coming online. You almost have the Flux.
And here comes the tire used in conjunction. Tire looking for that back line, is able to find the Hanzo. Meanwhile, Stiggy and Super Haddock taking a lot of damage, but they're still trying to push forward here. The healer is gonna, okay, Valk coming out on the side of Astrantia as they look to keep those 2 tanks alive, taking so much damage. Juicy and Gato forced to just retreat all the way back. Nevertheless, Super Addict chasing them down, finding the kills. Nobody's on point. The Dragon's getting thrown across, trying to stall this thing out. Nice halt coming through with the Immortality Field there from Veilguard. On that Baptiste with the Ant Matrix coming out directly. Shadow finds Gato-san nevertheless, and Bob thrown into the mix. Shadow! 3 kills coming through from the Ashe. Make that 4. 3 of them courtesy of Robert there, holding down back a point. And that is getting 3 points on the board here for Ignition with a much better time bank than we saw from Astrantia.
That is absolutely crazy how fast they did that, almost doubling the time that Astrantia put up on the board. So, win conditions set right now. We need to see how far Astrantia is going to be able to go out on this offense, because, I mean, they should have gone into overtime with what happened on their attack. So something needs to be cleaned up, something needs to change there. And then, you know, this is a great snapback from Ignition over San. They've come out here and put the BDE out onto Astrantia, and they are saying, not so fast. You're not going up 2-0 so fast. The swaps for Dead Loves You and Shadow on that Ashe, I think it was probably 50% Shadow and the rest of the 6 on the field for Oblivion getting the other half of the kills there. So something's got to be done to focus down the Ashe player, because, I mean, they did nothing to stop Shadow.
Shadow absolutely on fire right now. Clicking heads left and right. As we are going to get Ignition back on the defense with the Junkrat Ashe. See if that fantastic time bank will be enough for them to tie up this match here as we head into extra innings. We're getting the Echo back out on the side of Astrantia, combined with an Ashe of their own. Both teams bringing double shield.
Man, you know what would be really awesome is an Echo Junkrat.
That would be interesting. I'd be curious to see how many tires you could get out of that. Now we got Fnatic kind of flanking around here while the rest of the front line just sitting at the choke. Fnatic trying to find an angle around Statue. Does get chased out by the Junkrat of Dead Loves. And so far, it's pretty much a stalemate right now. Ignition able to keep this aggression in check for the moment.
Oof, shield management right now. That's what I'm looking at from Astrantia, and their shields are just getting burned so fast with the spam damage coming in, and the focus fire on their shields is just they can't keep the shielding up long enough to really make a concerted push.
Now we got Coalescence coming out from the defense, as Ignition is still just able to keep this team at bay. Deadlove's coming up on a tire, and that could be a difference maker here. We'll be looking out for that one. Super Haddock picks off Gato-san. Shadow finds himself a kill as well. Two-man advantage here for the defense, but Fnatic answering right back, finds his own. And that was the Mercy taken out. No more res. What a big, important pick. Great target priority coming out here from Astrantia. Now Venom going in. 32 seconds on the clock. Venom 78 to that duplicate. Takes out the Ashe with the flank through Hotel. And that's going to be the go sign here for Astrantia, as they're going to push on to point and should get this 4th point on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And Veilguard putting the nano boost onto the Bob v. Bob battle won by Astrantia there. Almost.
Oh, the contest is there. Super Haddock found 2 kills, but Fnatic able to take the tire out nevertheless. They don't stop the Orisa. Super Haddock under the big 3K at that engagement. We had Venom trying to clone into Orisa of his own. Not able to find much value there. The overtime wick will burn down. 91.7% is all Astrantia is able to pick up here in the extra innings of King's Row.
Oh my goodness, the ability to stall there. I thought they had the point one and done. We were going to Streets phase, and last minute supercharger heroics from Super Haddock showing his worth on the donkey horse and just annihilating any chance of that last 8.5% of capture progress for Astrantia. Man, that is a great showing there. Now, here's the win condition. You've got to get 91.8% of Ignition. What do you run to counter the really excellent defense that was shown on the first point? I mean, yeah, it was a bit of a steamroll. I mean, the Orisa was taking out first in their attack phase, and they just steamrolled it from there. So I think that you got to play your corners here. You got to play your geography and the geometry of this map just the right way, because you've got almost 4 minutes to hold this point.
Yeah, they're putting Veilguard back on the Moira here, which I think is a good move coming off of that Ana.
I think the Rabbits needs to be playing the Baptiste, though, to
yeah, I agree with that.
To shield against the ultimates, because you've got a Junkrat, you've got an Ashe, you've got, I mean, so much going on, or even a Lucio to beat drop. I mean, I don't think that the Mercy here is the play for the amount of time that you're going to have to hold here.
Which is going to be a little over 3 minutes and 40 seconds in total. And of course, Ignition just needs the 1 point on the board. In fact, just 92% of that point in order to tie up this series. They're going to go ahead and move in, take off the turret early, and they're not letting off the gas, just moving right onto the objective. No slowing down around Statue, no waiting for cooldowns to come back. They just move in and click heads. Shadow coming out with 2 early picks, but does eventually drop at the hands of Venom on the Torbjorn. Nevertheless, Deadlove is going to find the Orisa, and I think that is going to be the killing blow. Should just be cleanup from here, and I think we have a tie game here, Billy.
Well, not yet. Don't think too fast.
Fnatic trying to make a liar out of me here as he comes back and finds 2 kills. Coalescence invested on the other side. Bearman does find that kill, and here comes the stall. Winston and Hammond coming onto the point from Astrantia, and Ignition just kind of forced to back into a corner, play a little evil toaster Orisa, backing all the way up against the garage door. Here comes the Torbjorn. Oh, and Astrantia doing the impossible, trying to pull this thing back. Molten Core thrown onto the objective, and Torb will find the kill on the Super Haddock. Sticky goes down as well, and wow, they have pulled this thing right out of the jaws of defeat.
Oh my gosh, that was so very close. They didn't even get a tick, though. That is a big important even out. They didn't even get a tick.
That looked like easy cleanup. There were two members of Astrantia left on that point. What an amazing hold.
Revel Fnatic on the Junkrat was actually hidden up here on the upper left point. They didn't account for him. They thought they had it all in the bank, and they were just done.
And now Fnatic with that tire online. Coalescence available here for the defense. Early picks coming through, though. Super finds the Lucio. Rabbit's gone. He made that swap just to get back into the battle. Oh, but Fnatic once again with the tire, and it is huge! Oh, Fnatic works trying to come out from the other side. Deadlove picks up a kill with his parting gift. But in the end, It is still a hold here for Astrantia. Now, the question remains, is there a big enough window for Ignition to push in and find the advantage?
I mean, Spawn favors them right now, and you've got to think that hopefully Gato-san can get back in the fight. They have no ultimates online right now. Juicy Nana coming up very close on the mines, and I mean, Rabbit's right now only halfway to his all-important sound barrier, and Super Haddock has Supercharger in his pocket right now.
Nana on the Hammond gets taken out, but does find the kill onto the Mercy, so no more res there for that side. Supercharger coming out on the side of Ignition as Fnatic goes in deep. Oh, but he got a little overzealous there. He gets caught out. Sticky picking up that aggression. Shadow finding himself a kill. Bearman coming up with one as well. And now 2 ticks on the board, and Ignition looking a lot more stable on this point. We do get some mines coming out on the side of the defense, but they don't last long. And we do indeed eventually get a tie series here with Ignition Blaze taking King's Row.
Woo, boy, that was a very interesting sequence of events there in the 3 minutes 45 seconds that Ignition did have there. Rebel Fnatic getting a 3K to make them pay for leaving him alone so long. He wanted the attention of the attacking team, and he finally got it, and then he gave them a little parting blowing kiss. Tire. Now Ignition tied 1-1 after a very fantastic attack phase, gaining them so much time. You think that if they would have been able to stall or been stalled a little bit longer by Astrantia there, I think that you have to wonder, would it be nil Astrantia? But as
we'd be looking at a different score line right now. I have to agree.
I think that they got 3 minutes out of them. I think that's what it was.
It was a great hold and an unbelievable retake there halfway through. In the end, Ignition was too much for him. A lot of it having to do with Shadow on that Ashe, Super Haddock on that Orisa. Both outstanding performances there in map 2.
Whew. I mean, it was a exciting one to be sure. So as we go to intermission here, we are tied 1-1. This is going to be a cracker of a match, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away.
Welcome back, my friends, to the Console Overwatch multi-tier tournament organized by the Console Gaming League. We are here with a Tier 3 matchup with all tied up here at the half between Astrantia and Ignition Blaze. Billy, what have we seen so far in the first half of this match? It seems to be a tale of 2 teams here.
I mean, the DPS showed up for Blaze there, so I think that was a big difference between the first map and the second map. This series, I think, is going to be one of those that it's an ebb and flow of who gets the better DPS rotates, who's going to show up and show out. That's the biggest thing for me right now, is that the DPS showed up for Blaze there, and I think that the healing choices that were made by Astrantia, I think that if you have the Baptiste there, you don't die to that massive Vitic Flux and then the second supercharger. So, you know, I think it's just a personnel issue there for Astrantia. But on the other side, you know, Blaze came to win. And I said it in the pregame, they will show up. They will not just let you have it. And that's proof of what we just saw right there. The resiliency of the team was really, really apparent there. Super Haddock and Super Haddock and Stiggy on this tank line right now is absolutely dominating in the front lines. They push back Juicy Nana and Gato-san there, and you know, Gato-san not being able to play the ball there.
Right.
So I mean, I think that he got outplayed in the Sigma position by Super or Stiggy that time. So
yes, sir. Now, if there were any question marks on Super's Orisa, they have quickly been put to bed, as he was looking super strong on the 4-legged horse there on King's Row. And I mean, this is a toss-up. This is a toss-up. We're headed into Temple of Anubis here for our assault map in week 5.
Mm-hmm.
What do you expect we might see? I mean, I think we got some room for Astrantia to come back on the wrecking ball here, especially on point A. Do you think we see that again? More so, follow-up question, do we see dive?
I mean, we could also see Symmetra finally make a real appearance on the map. I really want to see that come out. Because I just think it provides so much value if it works the first time that you do it. You can't keep bashing your head against the wall though if it doesn't work the first time.
True.
That's the one thing that I have against a lot of Symmetra players or a lot of teams that run the Symmetra comp here is that they keep trying to do it over and over and over, and it just doesn't work. So you know, as we go into Anubis, that's what I'm going to be looking for as we get a side swap here. So now Blaze is going to be on the attack first, and we have a couple of substitutions coming in. Blackest Beast coming in for Juicy Dana, and then Clover coming back in off the bench in for Rabbits. I don't know if that's a planned change or if it was a performance change, because I didn't see Rabbits do very much in that last map for them. I have to say, I saw God of Sins doing a ton of work on the Mercy for Blaze, but for Astrantia, I don't think that the Swiss Miss did very much in the way of just providing a little bit of single target healing, maybe a damage boost here and there. But I mean, I saw God of Sins show up many times in that kill feed for the assist for his DPS players. So, Coach, you've done a good job. You've done me proud. I'll give you the pass on the ring later. But yeah, great play, great positional play coming from the Mercy and just the use of the kit.
Yes,
was so good.
Astrantia coming back here on the defense. Blackest Beast subbing in that tank role like you're talking about, and he's going to go ahead and pick up the main tank mantle as he pulls out the Orisa, the Sigma there to accompany him. Venom on the Torbjorn here on the defense. Gotta love some Torb. Gotta love how much he's shown up here in the meta in recent weeks. On the side of the attack, we're going to get some Ash Junkrat coming out of Blaze here. So they're just going to push right through far left side. Nothing terribly fancy, a pretty typical assault here. They're going to try to take Mega Room, see if they can close the distance against this Torbjorn Ash composition on this side of Astrantia.
Yeah, I mean, look at the ultimate charge differential between Rebel and Shadow. 55% to Bob versus 35. Now Shadow's getting on the move here with the Young Bell.
But Fnatic still finding so much value. Nevertheless, Coalescence coming out very, very early on the side of Blaze here as they look to push Ed. Shadow does find first pick, and that's a very important first pick indeed. Clover Hero going down, no more res available on the side of the defense. Junkrat taking position up on the high ground and just raining those grenades down into the bulk of Astrantia.
Oh, Deadlove takes out a coalescing Moira. That was huge.
Yeah, great positioning, great play, but the defense answering right back. Venom finding a pair of kills, Fnatic finding a pair of kills, and somehow they're able to pull that defense out of the depths and hold on here on point A, not giving up a single tick.
I don't know how they just did that, because the denial of the Coalescence took a lot of that healing away, but they just all decided to press Y real quick, and bringing out the Bob was the best thing that Fnatic could have done there for his defense.
Especially losing that Mercy early, that can typically be very detrimental to a defense somehow. Well, somehow being the two DPS players showing up and carrying their team there in that engagement. Now, Blaze coming back in as they do have Bob online, ready to go. Here comes the Bob. It's going to land him on the point, but we're getting a Gravitic Flux coming on the other side. Coalescence coming out from Bearman once again, and then the Valk thrown in as well. Both support ults here on the side of the attacking team, but it just looks like the defense able to just kite back. They're not phased at all. They just fall into some cover, let those ultimates run out, and now they're going to try to counterpunch back. Oh, but it is Super Haddock finding the kill on Gato Song. Res does come through, but in the meantime, Blackest Beast goes down, and there goes Veilguard. Main tank, main support off the playing field here for the defense, and that means Blaze, they're moving in, they're picking up progress. They should get this first point picked up, though they still have a Torbjorn to deal with.
Yeah, and they've got Molten Core on the field too, so I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here that could actually really potentially take them out, but you get a rock to the face, young lady. You get a rock to the face, and that gets them point A with 4:14 left on the time bank. They finally were able to break the cubbyhole kite that they were doing. That's my new name for it. Don't go ahead and trademark it.
Now the question is, can they snowball this? Coming in with a tire, coming in with supercharger. We are going to get Coalescence coming out on the defense. That supercharger was used early, but it got melted down by said Coalescence. Gato-san coming up with a kill, but Deadlove's answers right back. Finds two. One with a tire, one with a mine. So Blaze still in a position here to win this fight, but they're going to go ahead and reset since they did lose a man early, and that man being their Orisa. It's going to be a quick reset here for the attacking team.
Yep, I mean, Super Haddock on his way back already, though, and this could be, you could construe this to be a lost fight, but I think that they have the tools in hand to do what they need to do and get on to the point.
Yeah, despite using two ultimates in the last fight, they still have the advantage, and they're going to open with Coalescence here. Immortality Field coming out from the side of the defense. Bob thrown onto the point as well from Blaze, and they're going to find a couple kills. Shadow picks the head of Veilguard, and Dead Loves finds himself not one, but 2 kills before getting taken out by Venom. Rez is going to come through onto Dead Loves, as Venom had made a swap over to the Reaper here for the defense. Gets taken out.
Wow.
And there's a lightning fast time here on Temple of Anubis for Ignition Blaze.
There was no attempt, there was no chance for them to get back in. Once they took that first immortality barrier down, it was smooth sailing from them. The DPS, once again, TTV Shadow and Dead Loves You showing up huge on the attack there. They were picking heads and claiming names, send you back to spawn as quick as you like. And I just don't think that they ever had a chance once the Sigma pushed in and they got that immortality barrier down. That was all she wrote, because the aggression was just way too much. And so, you know, 2 minutes 56 seconds is a pretty fat.
Would you say it's a blazing fast time?
I would say it was an immensely blazing fast time. Scorching fast even.
Oh. So now we do have Ignition Blaze going back on the defense here. Junkrat Ash look to be their choice of DPS duo, with the Orisa Sigma in the front line. Moira and Mercy in the back. Oh, but look at this attack composition. Billy, what do you make of this attack coming out of Astrantia?
They're looking to stretch some shields. I think they're hungry for some shields.
Bastion Echo. I think this would be a prime spot for that Symmetra that you were alluding to earlier.
Uh-huh.
But we're going to see Fnatic on the Echo. That's not going to hurt my feelings either. I love seeing this new character in play. In fact, Fnatic already with gold gauntlets here on this character. So there you have it. Oh, it does look like they're going to pass through right side. They're not going the typical left-hand route. They're going to go ahead and push high ground here. Oh, but Clover Hero doesn't make it. The Sigma chasing him down and finds first blood here on Astrantia's attack. Blaze pushing into small room. They're just going to chase him up there. Oh, what an interesting choice. The defense are just chasing him right up to high ground. Super Haddock running into an Echo, but that Echo is no match for the fortified horse of Orisa. And they do still have a Bastion to worry about. Flux used. Stiggy, look at all of that bonus armor for Stiggy. Holy cows, he absorbed so much damage coming out from that Bastion. Nevertheless, they've given up a lot of space, as Astrantia is just going to drop down onto the objective, start making some progress. Junkrat going through, trying to fight the Bastion, who's positioned himself up on the high ground. Venom's going to have to drop down, forced out of position, right into the bulk and welcoming arms of the rest of Ignition Blaze. Stiggy does come up with that kill, and Astrantia just caught in this awkward corner, and they will eventually get beaten down, sent back to spawn. And a reset coming through. Stiggy coming up with 4 kills in that engagement.
I mean, Stiggy showing up huge right there, using the rock, using the kinetic grasp, more importantly, to deny the Bastion damage coming out. Man, they look really disjointed there, like they weren't sure what they wanted to do, and I think that you have to kite and watch your back. I don't think they should have pursued that high ground without their secondary healer.
DPS swaps coming out on the side of the attacking team. Astrantia going to the Genji as well as the Ashe. We had a tire come out. Did not seem to find its intended targets. Black Beast moving into the small room is whittled down super low. Mine comes in, finishes them off. The healing from Mercy, not enough, and now they're all just caught in this tiny room. The Junkrat happy to oblige them with a bunch of little gifts. And that is going to spell doom, and back to spawn you go, Astrantia.
I mean, wow, there's a late stagger kill on the Fnatic. I think they knew exactly where she was at, and that's spelling a real bad problem for Astrantia here as we cross the 145 barrier. They're going to have to move real fast and have a coordinated attack here as they swap to dive.
And we talk about snowballs as moving from a point A to a point B, but we're starting to get a bit of a defensive snowball here, as they're able to take such a massive ult economy that there's just not much to counter it on the other side. Veilguard is coming up, or just did get that sound barrier online, as the members of Astrantia are trying to just push underneath. Okay, now here comes the dive up onto the platform. Risa fortified it up. And Kinetic Grasp used, not a whole lot of damage done. Now we've got Supercharger as well as Valkyrie on the board. That's a whole lot of blue beams here on the side of Ignition Blaze. Bob throwing onto the objective to help defend the point. But Venom finding 2 kills. Dead Trust respond back with a tire. And the res does come through onto the Lucio. We'll see if the early picks coming from the Cyber Ninja are enough, as the battle's now breaking out on the objective. Just, you know, Risa and some healers left to deal with here on the point. Oh, no, we do still have Stiggy there on this Sigma, and he's done so much work, and it's given time for the DPS to get back into this battle. Fnatic showing coming through on the Doomfist, though, finding 2 kills. Meteor Strike already online. In fact, both DPS ults online, in spite of the fact that they just made those swaps right before this engagement.
Man, I mean, great plays. Great Mercy play from Clover Hero on the Swiss Miss, keeping her tank up in the middle of all of that, and then giving a damage boost onto her Doomfist to get that all-important Meteor Strike online. Now you got to look, you have enough in the tank, go ahead and push it through here. I think they do.
They just might indeed, as they were able to equalize that bad ult deficit that I was referring to earlier. Here comes the Genji in the back line. We have Grenadier Flux coming out on the other side. Mora is going to fall to the blade with a little help from the Winston, but the Winston goes down himself. Venom able to pick up a second one with the sword, as the Winston is going to get revived. Fnatic finding the kill onto the Mercy, so no more revives on the other side, and Astrantia in a very strong position here to put up at least a comparable time to that of Blaze. Oh, wow, Fnatic with a nice uppercut to take out the Sigma, falls into with a good right hook. Shadow goes down. 1 tick picked up already. Meteor Strike online. We're getting the stall composition coming back from the other side. Blaze goes over the Tracer, but does not last long. Lucio doesn't last either. And that was a great push on to point B, as there's just 34 seconds separating these two teams. Ooh.
Man, you want to think, what if they came out with dive in the first place? Holy crap, that was fast, that was precise, that was concise, and that was lethal. So, now, here we go into extra innings. Who is going to bend first? That is the big question. Do Astrantia stay with dive, which they immediately had impact on, or do they try and go with this funky Bastion meow meow setup that they just did? I'm not sure what they were exactly thinking, because he never got tank configuration in it, and you basically wasted almost 3 minutes trying to get the point. So, I mean, you come out with a 2-minute time bank after being almost full held. Yeah, you got to think that the dive is the flavor du jour right now.
I mean, it worked wonders for him. Fnatic and Venom getting so much work done, able to build up those ultimates in just 1 engagement and use that to snowball into point B. On the side of the defense, Blaze coming out with the Junkrat Ashe. I think this might be a great composition to help counter the dive, though.
You don't see Baptiste, though.
True. Very true. Can't help but wonder if the Baptiste might be a better pick over that Mercy. Although the damage boost onto that Ashe has been vital, which is what we're seeing here. 20% ult charge already there for Shadow on the Ashe for Blaze.
And that's, yep, and there's an immediate impact.
Early pick, make that 51%, though the res will come through. Astrantia back at full strength. They tried to dive on, but a halt denied the leap coming from the Winston. Now the Doomfist does move in. He's able to push Stiggy off the platform. The Mercy having to chase him down there to keep him alive. And Deadloves counterpunches back with a pair of kills. Genji and Mercy both sent back to spawn, and this should be a reset coming through from Astrantia.
Yep, and that is 40 seconds right there, taking up the clock. Better defense this time. They were expecting the dive coming out this time. So
indeed.
Now, is there some other kind of swap that you can make here that can kind of foil with their plans right now? That's the question you got to ask yourself, is there something they can do to get past this damage that's coming into them right now?
Venom is swapping over to a soldier. but they're working in a double shield. I don't know what angle he's going to be able to find. But here comes, again, the dive. They're putting pressure onto that platform. The Doomfist and the Diva dive in with Deadloves on this Junkrat. 4K coming through, my goodness. And he gets the D-Mech as well. Yes, sir. Venom does come up with a pick on the Mercy. But, oh, man, this is a one-man show. Deadloves absolutely dominating here on the defense for Ignition Blaze.
Oh my goodness, what absolutely crazy play from him. That was a concussion mine double, by the way. That was not just his grenades. That was a well-placed concussion mine from him.
And now he's got Tire online, ready to go. Coming up on a Coalescence Bomb available for the defense. Here comes the Tire out of the back. He's going to go hunting for the Lucio. Can he get him? He does find the kill on the Lucio with an early advantage as the time starts to dwindle down. Final fight here for Astrantia to make something happen on Temple of Anubis. Sound barrier used, Supercharger used on the backline. Sound barrier not quite ready yet. Blackest Beast goes down. Gato-san gets D-Max. But they do find the kill onto the main tank on the other side. Res will come through. No, they deny the Res. What a great play coming out of Stinger. Gravitic Flux now used. That should be the nail in the coffin as Blaze will hold on. No progress picked up for Astrantia.
Oh my gosh, that's a heartbreaker. Because if you get that Res, that's a whole different story there. Great awareness from the side from Blaze to deny the resurrection there. And they now have a win condition set. Get 1 point and you are in it for good. And I think that will put them up 2-1 here as we as we look at their offense. They've got to get that 1 point. They've got to get 33%, or we could full hold here. That is the other thing that could happen. We could have a full hold.
Yeah, we would have a draw, and it would be Watch Point Gibraltar as the deciding map of the series. And that is the best that Astrantia can hope for. Of course, Ignition Blaze hoping they can get that precious 33% and take the 2-1 lead in the series.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, now this becomes an all-important, crucial defense for Astrantia. You have to play smart, you have to play consolidated, and you got to watch for any kind of trickery coming from Blaze here.
Which makes this composition pick so important. You have zero opportunity to counter pick. You've got to get it right out of the gate. And yeah, they're hoping they do as Astrantia's coming out with the Junkrat Ash.
Gato-san not choosing.
Gato-san, yeah, what? I don't know. He stepped away from his controller there for a second or something. But right now, the defense are only at a 5-man roster as Gato-san coming in late to the party and just slowly making his way down to the platform.
Oh, man. This is going to be bad.
Yeah, this could be a huge opportunity here. So, fortunately for Astrantia, it does look like Ignition Blaze kind of taking it a little slow. I think they're going to path up to that high ground from what I can tell, though they're leaving Shadow in the back. Oh, I love this play. The bulk of the troops have moved to the right. Shadow staying in the main choke to keep the pressure on and force shielding to the front, which is going to allow Blaze to just shift all the way around. Wow, what a rotation. As the Arisa's dropping on a point. Super is down there. Now here comes the other tank and his healer. Deadlove's throwing in some good mines. Gato-san and Blackest Beast both super low. Venom and Fanatics both super low, but somehow they're the ones that come up with the good. Venom does eventually drop, but it's a 2-1 trade. Fnatic and Gato-san find a pair of their own. And this defense, despite the late appearance from Gato-san, they will hold.
Whew, that was by the skin of their chinny chin chin, and I mean,
that was a little
barely. Venom getting some huge kills on the Junkrat there in the corner. He was up against it with Deadloves, and they just basically concussion mined each other until one finally fell.
Oh man, I was watching Astrantia's health bars there, and all four, both DPS and both tanks, were just down to about 10% at one point. Somehow they edge it out. First kill comes through for Shadow. This time Rez is there. Dueling Coalescence over the bridge, and Blackest Beast is going to take down the Mercy. Gotta send back to spawn. No Rez available here for the attacking team.
Oh, look at Venom.
Yeah, he's coming around to the side. He does have that tire as well. He doesn't get a chance to use it though. Deadloves lands the mine, and he goes back to the spawn holding his ultimate. We'll see how impactful that will be, as it is just 4 members of Blaze pushing around to the high ground. They've got to wait for their own members to get back. Oh, and Goddessence goes down. Veilguard finding that kill. Fnatic comes up with a good pick onto the Junkrat as well. How did you get that shot, Fnatic? What a shot!
Oh man, 20 seconds left on the clock. Bullskunk, this is going to be huge. What a big
An early pick onto Moira, and Venom is going to take out Stiggy. I think they might have just forced a draw here right out of the gate with those 2 opening picks. Venom is going to find kill on a Shadow as well, and despite the massive ults coming through from Blaze, they don't have an opportunity to use any of them. Oh my goodness, what a finish in Temple of Anubis.
Oh, Billy's Pogger face.
And is exactly how many points either of these teams are going to get from this map. 0. We're still at a 1-1 tie.
Do you know what that also means?
No map 5.
No map 5.
No map 5.
No map 5.
That just throws our predictions right out the window. But I still think that the spirit of our prediction is alive and well, because this has been exactly what I said it would be, and just a tooth and nail fight, inch by inch from both team. I mean, we're all tied up heading into Watch Point Gibraltar.
Oh man, and if that dive has anything to foreshadow what just happened,
I'm going to give Astrantia the edge here.
then I have to give Astrantia the edge. And I hope that they have something in store for a dive offense that could come into, or a dive defense. You could also see a dive defense here on the first point because of the mobility of Winston and D.Va there. I mean, they were combining Gato-san once again on the D.Va, actually, securing a lot of kills there. And the tank line, the healer line. I mean, both teams are firing on all cylinders right now. And despite the 45-second different time banks, man, Astrantia really put their foot down, and they want this match. They want this match right now, Bullskunk. And I've got to get the lobby swapped around here. But as we talk about this, we're going to Watch Point Gibraltar. I have mixed feelings about this.
Oh, I absolutely love this map. Winston's Playground, if you would. I think, technically HLC is supposed to be his playground with the climbing gym and all that. But as far as gameplay, no. Gibraltar is absolutely Winston's home base. And I think Astrantia will bring out the dive here. I mean, we've seen some phenomenal Hammond play out of Gato-san earlier in this series, and it would not surprise me in the slightest to see them just go full dive here. Now, one thing I will say is the Junkrat play from the other side. Blaze's Junkrat has been a phenomenal in the name of Dead Loves, and he could shut down a dive real quick, as we saw in those extra innings on Temple of Anubis.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but Venom on the other side for Astrantia, picking off the Mercy and then picking off Shadow on the Ashe. He's been putting his work in too, so I think that I think that this is going to be a dinger for us to finish out the night here in the rock country that is known as Gibraltar. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen, but we have a substitution coming in. Juicy Nana coming back in for Blackest Beast. Blackest Beast was putting in a ton of work on that Winston too, so
yeah, perhaps this is an indication that they might go back to like the Orisa Wrecking Ball composition we saw earlier, or maybe just sticking with a double shield. It's hard to tell, man, because these teams have definitely had some variety, and you have a lot of options at your disposal here in Watch Point Gibraltar.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. This is going to decide whether Ignition Blaze goes 5-0, but they're only going to get whoever wins is only going to get 2 map points. That's the thing. You're not going to get that 4-0 that everybody was expecting you to get, or you're not going to get the 3 points that everybody would expect. You're only going to get 2 map points, so this actually favors Astrantia. Even with the win, they don't get that negative map differential to actually boost them up just a little bit. And I think that this is going to be a huge map for them, deciding whether or not they finally notch one on the belt for the Tier 3 division. Say, hey, we took down the champs, we took down the leaders, and we've got the momentum going forward. I mean, we're halfway through the season.
I think it's important to point out that Busan was only their second map loss of the entire tournament. They were 15-1 in map differential coming into today's series.
No, I mean, on the other side, though, I mean, Astrantia is only lost 3 maps, so I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is being built as exactly as it was.
And we could definitely see these two teams in the postseason if they continue with this amazing play. We do get both DPSs picked out of the sky. Shadow finding heads early, clicking on both Venom as well as Fnatic. Now we do get the res on the Fnatic, but it is going to put a bit of a stall here as we do have dive composition coming out from the attacking team. Gato-san going to roll his way around to the top, but Stiggy ready for him this time. In fact, Stiggy picks off both tanks, and they're going to shut down this first dive assault with ease.
Yeah, and I don't know why you don't kite back at that. I'm not sure, other than probably trying to get the ult charge or just killing themselves, as they have now swapped over to the Orisa Sigma double shield composition, and you know they are getting some progress on this point already, though.
Yeah, I question the Genji though. Venom, I think Venom needs to do a swap as well. He's running into Shadow, who's just been absolutely cracked today, as well as Deadlove's on the Torbjorn, which is just a natural counter. Here comes Bob down into the car wash. As Astrantia trying to push their way through, but they have just no room to work. Juicy Nana goes down. Deadlove's finding that shot. Shadow had a headshot into that Orisa as well. Stiggy picking up his kill onto the counterpart. Sigma on the other side. Venom does come through, saving his mercy, getting that kill onto Shadow. Res coming through on both sides, though.
Oh man, I mean, res unavailable for about 20 seconds from both teams now, but I mean, I'm also questioning the Genji play right now, and taking this risky high ground approach from Astrantia. This is actually really scary territory because you do have the rock, you have the pull that can take you all out.
Yeah, Blaze ready for him. They were just positioned up on the top of box, just ready to catch that high ground assault. Deadlove's finding the kill onto the Orisa. Main tank down here for Astrantia as they look to push in. Stiggy is going to answer back, finds the kill onto Gato-san, and they have Fnatic positioned up on this high ground, and I'm not sure there's much to deal with him, as he's just up there laying bullets down, but has to work through those two shields. Coalescence coming out on the side of the defense, trying to help them stabilize, and here comes Venom with the blade. He picks up one, Gato-san goes down, he's looking for more, gets 2, with a little help from Fnatic. They've had 3 kills on the board here for Astrantia as they look to push in, and they are going to usher this thing all the way into the end of point A. Into the hangar they go.
Well, I mean, you got your value out of it, so now what do? I mean, that's, ooh.
Okay.
Okay. I see you, Fnatic. Yeah, this is a really good push for them, pulling them and really taking it to ignition right now. There's no answer right now. And look at Fnatic. Oh my goodness, getting out with your life, but still getting all that spam damage in from the dynamite. That's a great play from their Ashe player.
Yeah, now 80% towards a grab, but here comes a Gravitic Flux from the other way. I meant a Bob there for that, but Gravitic Flux here from the defense. Molten Core thrown out from them as well. And at the very least, they're going to find 1 kill and scare off the rest. It looks like Clover tried to get a res in there and then was just absolutely denied. Deadlove's coming up with a nice exit kill just to further buy some more time.
Yep, but I mean, at what cost? Okay, so they throw in Molten Core. They throw in Gravitic Flux.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And they threw in Bob, too.
Let's see, was there a Bob thrown in? I didn't even see the 7th man.
Yeah.
Robert was hiding.
Robert was on point.
Using Robert for the stall tactic. I like it. Sticking with this Genji, man. This still surprises me. Somehow he's finding value into what should be a hard counter. Oh, I don't like this. They're looking a little disjointed on this side of Astrantia as they're trying to push in. It looks like everybody just kind of coming in from separate doors, perhaps just trying to spread the attention on the other side. Now taking a more of a frontline approach. The Reese able to get on cart, start slowly pushing this thing in. Shield whittled down. Sigma there to compensate. His shield is gone as well. As the teams kind of still made out over here. Shadow finds a pick. Lucio goes down. Valkyrie used on the side of Astrantia as they try to answer back and see if they can push this thing into its resting spot. In fact, here comes Blade. Shadow is going to drop it. Res comes through, and the Blade gets denied further by a Coalescence coming out. Fnatic does end up coming up through with a kill from Bob as he makes his appearance. And this has been a heck of a back and forth on the point. And I mean, we're just going to have to see who's going to emerge from this chaos. We had Molten Core coming out from the defense, Gravitic Flux coming out from the offense. It does look like the defense will stabilize as the tanks make their way back into battle.
I don't even know what just happened through all of that because it was just over here, over there. Astrantia definitely disjointed there in their attack.
Yeah, you can see it in their approach.
take a breather, take 5 seconds, gather your wits about you, and hit this team head on. I know that they're being spread around by where the defense is at, but you got to really focus that point.
Now Blaze taking the high ground here, but at least the DPS are. Torb is going to go ahead and drop down and join the rest of his team. Looks like there's no shielding there. Okay, Astrantia using both shields at the same time. Ill-advised, they're going to get melted quickly, but their DPS showing up. Sound barrier used to protect their assault as they get aggressive. Venom finds a pair, Fnatic finds a pair. And this DPS duo absolutely making so much space that they're going to get 2 points on the board. 2-2-2 on the clock.
Wow, that was a definite change of approach. Venom switching over to the Soldier 76 and Fnatic bringing out the Doomfist. They are both already well on their way to their ultimate, so a little change of tactic there. You know, they got off the stubbornness of the Genji, even though Genji really got more value than I ever expected him to get there. Kudos for them being able to get all that there, but that being said, Venom already has Backvisor.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to go around to the flank. See if he's going to run up to the high ground and try to pop that. He's got to be careful. There's an Ashe waiting for him. And damage boosted one at that. Attack visor comes out. Mercy goes down. Shadow comes through and put a bunch of damage in. Excuse me, it was actually Deadlock putting a bunch of damage in, and Shadow finishing it off with the TNT. Meanwhile, on the front line, Super Haddock taking down Juicy Nana. And now the defense just putting in as much pressure as they can, chasing Astrantia all the way back to spawn.
Yep, and Venom now swapping over to the Ashe as he's already used his attack visor and got the value out of it that he needed. Rebel is going to have this Meteor Strike online. You've got some ultimates coming up online here that I think that if they play their cards right, they've got the ultimate advantage 3-1 right now.
We shall see who can get the most value. Molten Core Supercharger, definitely useful, especially if you throw a good ult into the mix, but Gravitic Flux, so powerful, and that Flux is going to find 3. The Valk used to escape it from God of Sins, otherwise it would have been 4 in that, and Fnatic's going to move in, finish off Dead Loves, and here comes Meteor Strike, trying to find the Ashe, at least scaring her off of her perch. Oh, but what a shot! The jumping fadeaway shot from Shadow on Fnatic, holy cow! What a shot! Now Hulk coming in from the defense, as Gravitic Flux is going to take advantage of the tight little grouping. Stiggy finding 2 kills with that with a little help from his friends. And they are going to force another reset as a quick retreat coming out of Astrantia.
I mean, 20 seconds. You've got about 10 seconds to get your booty on the payload before you're done. And you've got a supercharger, you've got a Lucio. I mean, Lucio's got a speed boost you all the way up there. 10 seconds on the clock. You have got to get in there and touch. You can't wait anymore.
Yeah, because there are some potential. You've got Hulk, you've got the little shotgun of Ashe that you're running into. Okay, they're able to move in and touch, but they get just decimated in the process, running into so much damage. No hope for Astrantia. This is as far as they will get here on Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Gong O death. Finally, it took 4 rounds for us to get there, Bullskunk. I am disappointed, but it took us so long to get there.
To get your team kill?
I want my team kill. I like my gong. It's the gong show.
You like your fights nice and clean.
I do. I don't like sloppy. And we saw a couple of really sloppy fights happen there. But that being said, 78.7 meters, how far Astrantia was able to push the payload here. So now win condition set, Matt, for the whole series here, you've got to go 78.38 meters ignition to take the series win, go to 5-0 on the season, and solidify yourself as the top team in tier 3. On the side though, this would be one of the bigger upsets, even though it's not really an upset based upon their map scores and their schedules and everything else. I think that man, this is a big performance coming out from Astrantia, and I think a lot of people had it going 3-1 ignition. Not us on the desk, because we especially you and I, we've seen how Astrantia plays. I think this is as good as they can play. I think that a little bit of cleanup here and there, and I think they get even better. That's the thing.
Yeah, we've seen good focus fire, good ult discipline from both teams here today, as it has absolutely been a super tight series. We are all tied up here on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Astrantia going on the attack. I'm sorry, Blaze going on the attack. Astrantia on the defense here with the Reinhardt Sigma. Ash and Torb sitting up on the high ground. In fact, we're getting a bit of a mirror matchup here. A Torb mirror. There's something you don't see every day, Billy.
Torb mirror, happy, joy, Swedish dwarf of death. So I love him, and I think that right now they've got to coalesce their team together. Both DPS for Astrantia up top, just raining hell in on top of them right now, burning shields as they go, getting behind them, trading out. Oh, there we go. Two big picks coming out for Astrantia here as we go into it.
Venom working his way around. There's a little Torbjorn duel going on in the servers. Oh, but the healers of Astrantia show up. And nevertheless, despite that, Deadloves wins the duel, but Rez will come through. Meanwhile, back on the front line, the rest of Blaze trying to push up through Car Wash. So far, not having much success as they are now a man down. Coalescence coming out. We'll see if that can enable them to get up this hill, as it has just been slow moving for him so far. Sticky able to find the kill on the Fnatic. Try to even things out here. Coalescence coming out on the side of Astrantia on the defense. They gotta watch out for Shadow up on the high ground. Shadow gets melted between the Coalescence and the turret. And this defense doing a great job of just pushing back all of the angles that Blaze is trying to hit him from.
Yep, but there's a really cheeky Torb turret up top here, putting a ton of damage and giving him about 15% of extra ult charge towards his Molten Core. Here comes the Critic Flux out for Gato.
Yeah, that one gets 3. Super Haddock gonna fall in that as well, despite Thornton up. Deadloves trying to escape, but Gato-san chasing him down, not quite able to find the kill.
Whoo, boy, this could be a Y-Mash fest in about 30 seconds. Minute 50 on the clock right now. And it looks like Ignition is going to try and path through this upper area here, trying to get some focus down fire on the tops of Astrantia's unwitting heads.
Yeah, we're going to both DPS ults, both tank ults coming online here for Blaze as they're moving up to the high ground. Bob thrown out onto the point. Moira able to fade out of that, at least momentarily. He lands a little bit behind the box, and looks like the front line able to move out of his LOS. Nevertheless, Shadow finding picks from the high ground. Landing shots to Dome onto that Arisa. Super Haddock coming up with a kill on the Gato-san as well. Bob thrown in from the other side. That's going to find one. And the res does come back through onto that Moira. Shadow ate a TNT, just barely able to find the safe embrace of his healers before getting melted down. We do get Molten Core coming out on the side of the defense, but I don't know that it's going to be enough to hold off this assault. They've got Shadow up on the high ground. They've got to deal with. Shadow picks off Venom. Shadow picks off Clover. Coalescence coming out, and the Coalescence slides too. What a counterpunch back coming out of Veilguard on the Moira.
Oh my goodness, that was the most awesomely timed Coalescence I think I've seen in a long time. But I'm now over Bastion. What are you thinking here, Astrantia? You're doing so well. Please don't start doing weird comps.
Yeah, you're 30 seconds from winning this match. Don't do anything too strange.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's Fnatic. Gets a little overzealous and gets taken out, and that's going to pull Res, so that's no longer available for him. As Blaze pushing up to the high ground, they're going to watch a Molten Core all over point A, trying to deny some space. And now it does look like Astrantia is just kind of stuck in the corner here. TNT thrown in. That's going to build up a lot of ult charge for Fnatic, who's almost already back to another Bob. Sound barrier. No, that was some Shadow, and there comes that Bob. Bob is out. Deadloves takes out the Bastion, and it does look like the attack will push through. Point on the board here for Ignition Blaze.
Yep, but here's the big thing. And even though, you know, yes, they do take the point there, there's some nasty exit kills coming out here. Both Tankum ultimates are still in the back pocket. You also almost have another Coalescence. You almost have another Bob. So I think that was a last minute kind of spray and pray coming from Venom there. Because now he's gone back over to the Torbjorn. I think you stay Torbjorn. You get your Molten Core progress up. I don't understand why you changed there.
Well, definite ult advantage here for the defense as they're going to open with Gravitic Flux. That found a couple, but here comes the Supercharger from the other side. In fact, that Flux did get the kill onto the Mercy, and Fnatic finding the head of the counterpart, Ash. 2-man make that 3-man advantage here for the defense as Fnatic is just clicking heads up top. Venom not to be outdone, finds a kill of his own. Fnatic with a nice exit kill, lighting up that fade. Big 3K coming through for Fnatic on that engagement.
Well, I mean, they invested 2 there. They did end up investing the Coalescence keep to counter the supercharger that came out from Super Haddock. I mean, I thought they had the upper hand there, but the high ground actually served them super well there, and they were able to withstand storm that was the supercharger power coming in.
And doing it with only the 2 ults used, giving Astrantia still a bit of an ult advantage here on the defense, though we are going to get the Flux Coalescence combo coming out on the side of Blaze as they look to push in here. Fnatic whittled down low, Juicy Nana cannot survive. And as they try to push around the corner, they will find that res, but they... Oh, and they not only find the res, they find some kills as well. Shadow will get brought back, but the same cannot be said on the other side, as this is just broken out into an all-out chaotic brawl. Bomb thrown into the fight. Coalescence coming out on the side of the defense. You do still have Shadow up on the high ground, doing a lot of work and thinning out the back line here of Astrantia. But they are going to get their Mercy back in battle, and Supercharger coming out on the side of the defense as they are looking to plant their feet on this corner. 12 seconds on the clock. We're in final fight territory, and the res coming through. They denied that res. But now big TNT coming through his shadows, trying to build up towards that ultimate. Fnatic goes down. Super Haddock able to find that kill. Venom whittled down super low as well. Somehow falls out of the LOS and is able to find some healing, but this overtime wick is a burning, and Blaze has to get this thing onto that big B.
He's got Flux, he can pull him off,
Here comes the Flux. Oh! Does he get it? What? Holy cow, back and forth. Both Fluxes coming out. Coalescence used on the side of the defense. As they look at, in fact, both Coalescence coming out. It's just like the back and forth in that feed. Both teams getting reses, and it looks like we have a 3v3 here on the point. Make that a 4v3, favoring the defense as you have the Mercy up in the sky. Oh, and the overtime wick is just sitting there burning away, as are the reinforcements for Ignition. Blaze, they get taken down, and Astrantia will edge out this fight. They're going to take Watch Point Gibraltar in a 2-1 victory here in tonight's match.
Oh my goodness, that was absolutely crazy at the end there. Dueling Fluxes coming out, starting the overtime wick burning seriously, and then 3v4. Blaze going into it, and the shielding, I mean, he tried everything that he could to stay up. Goddess's also doing a ton of work on the Mercy there, but no way. I am mind blown over this series right now. I'm not sure what to think other than GG's to everybody out there. I mean, this was just
fantastic series.
It was a great series. We're going to go to a quick little break, and we're going to come back with some replays. We will be back with you in just a few moments.
On the side of Astrantia, Blizzard throwing it on the other side.